Now on your official Packers station.
A possible season-ending injury for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron's a great player. He's a huge part of our success.
Packers faithful fearing the worst.
Immediate thought is, oh no, there goes the season.
With the youngest fans sending their well wishes.
Hope he feels better. Dear Aaron Rodgers, I hope you feel better. Love, Madeline.
The green and gold now in the hands of Brett Hundley.
Aaron's my brother, so it's hard to see him go down.
A crushing blow to a team with Super Bowl aspirations, now forced to face an uncertain future.
But as a football team, we have to move forward.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We do have team coverage of Aaron Rodgers' injury this evening, breaking down all the aspects.
And first here, we start with Chris Barrier joining us live at 10. Chris, what's the latest on the injury tonight?
Well, John and Cassandra, Packers safety HaHa Clinton Dix just tweeted a quote that I think is pretty relevant for Packers fans right now. It says, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." And you know who said that? Vince Lombardi. Now, I don't know what the Packers are made of without Aaron Rodgers, but I do know that Brett Hundley, his era begins right now. Head coach Mike McCarthy announced this afternoon that Aaron Rodgers will undergo surgery on his broken collarbone. And while it isn't official that number 12 will miss the rest of this season, things don't necessarily look promising. McCarthy also reiterated that this is now Brett Hundley's team. Brett will start on Sunday at home against New Orleans, and Joe Callahan, who was just promoted from the practice squad, will be his backup. For those wondering if the Packers will seek out a free agent quarterback, say, Colin Kaepernick, well, this is what Coach McCarthy thinks of that option.
Did you just listen to that question I just answered? Okay, I got 3 years invested in Brett Hundley, 2 years invested in Joe Callahan. The quarterback room is exactly where it needs to be, okay? We're fortunate to have a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. We're committed to the path that we're on. We need to play better as a football team.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Just kidding. Thank you, Coach. Coming up in sports, we'll take you inside the locker room and hear what the team has to say about all of this. But for now, Cassandra and John, let's send things back over to you.
Chris, thank you. And the question now is, what's the timeline for a recovery from a broken collarbone? A doctor from Bay Care Clinic tells us that number 12 could be looking at a 2 to 3 month recovery with surgery. But as for any possible long-term effects to Rodgers' throwing arm, well, the doctor is more optimistic.
Most young, healthy people have the capacity to heal clavicle fractures very well. And once the clavicle is healed, typically it's as strong as it was prior to the injury. So we wouldn't expect any long-term effects.
And Chris Barrier alluded to one of the questions now. That is, does former 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick figure at all into the Packers quarterback situation?
That's right. Some are urging the Packers to bring in the controversial quarterback to take over for the injured Aaron Rodgers. NBC 26's Mo Hyder live in our Green Bay newsroom now with that story. Mo.
Yeah, John, Cassandra, this all started with a petition on change.org, and it's getting a lot of signatures, but fans I spoke with are still split on seeing Kaepernick in the green and gold. Now, this petition has been getting attention from all over the country, and it was not started by anyone in Wisconsin. The site says someone in Oakland, California got it started. Kaepernick does have Badger State roots, though. He was born in Milwaukee and lived in Fond du Lac till he was 4 years old. And just a few years ago, he also played in the Super Bowl. Plenty of Packers fans see him as a player, though, who gained attention by kneeling during the national anthem. But now with Aaron Rodgers possibly out for the season, some fans are willing to give him a shot.
I think if it's going to give us the chance to win, I think there should be no one that should be unconsidered. So I think definitely he would hold a value if it was going to help us win.
Now, some, on the other hand, just don't think it's worth it.
Colin Kaepernick has seen his days in the NFL, and they're no longer talent-wise, and just the drama that he brings with him.
Also earlier today, Packers head coach Mike McCarthy did say Brett Hundley is his guy. Now, so far, this petition has nearly 8,000 signatures. Live in the Green Bay newsroom tonight, Mo Hyder for NBC 26.
All right, thanks, Mo. Packers fans are coming to terms with the reality that Aaron Rodgers might not play another game this year, at least not during the regular season.
NBC 26's Eric Kratz talked with fans about losing number 12.
It was a hit. Talked about and debated throughout the NFL, the Packers fans felt more than most following Sunday's game.
Immediate thought is, oh no.
I was kind of thinking, well, there kind of goes their season.
After watching it several times in review, I don't think it was a late hit.
I think that he could have let up a little bit on that hit. I think that he drove him into the ground, and I think it was a pretty dirty play on his part.
The play that drew no foul broke Rodgers' collarbone. the former MVP of the league, will have a hard time regaining that title this year.
Everything's falling apart. He gets out and he makes a great play.
He is the Packers.
He's the backbone.
He'll be the one that just makes something happen out of nothing.
And today, just over a third of the way through the regular season, Packers fans are starting to deal with the reality that they have to look forward. And some are optimistic, some are hopeful about what the backup quarterback for the Packers can bring to the table.
Yeah, he had 3 picks. They weren't all his fault. I saw him move around the field, looked very good. But I saw when they showed him in the huddle, I could see that he was taking control of that team.
I think it's going to be real tough to win this division. We're tied right now with Minnesota. I'm hoping that Hundley can get some preparation where he actually has preparation for the entire game coming up here.
I think there's potential in him. He just has to take a step back and it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Keeping you connected, I'm Eric Kratz with NBC 26.
And the news of Rodgers' injury hit even the youngest of Packers fans pretty hard.
NBC 26's Marissa Candido spoke with kids today at Green Bay area schools who shared their well wishes for number 12.
These first graders from Beaumont Elementary are hard at work, sending heartfelt messages to Aaron Rodgers.
Hope you feel better, Rodgers. I hope you feel better. I hope he feels better.
It was a tough day for many of these little Packers fans after hearing number 12 is likely out for the season.
He's my favorite player and I really like him. I want to be him most likely when I grow up.
Packers fans across the country devastated to see Rodgers go down.
I was really upset because I knew we were going there to see him and I didn't want him to be out for the season.
Gavin and his dad are heading to their first game at Lambeau Field this weekend. Even without Rodgers, they're excited to watch a game in Green Bay.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Hall of Fame and getting a tour of the field and maybe getting to meet some of the players.
Because the game must go on, even without one of the league's superstars. For NBC 26, I'm Marissa Candido.
The kids always seem to sum it up so well. All right, let's check it out with Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland.
And Cameron, you are one of the biggest Packers fans out there. Before we get to the forecast, what is your take on the injury?
Oh, well, I was cranky yesterday. I tossed and turned all night last night. I felt like I had a heavy cloud over me all day long today. This season had so much potential. Maybe it still does. We'll have to wait and see. A Super Bowl MVP for Rodgers. He's playing at the peak of his career. And now this has to happen. It's very unfortunate. It feels like a playoff loss or like a NFC championship playoff loss, but we just have to hope for the best for Aaron and for Brett, and go Pack go. All right, now on to the weather. I've had my chance to let you know how I feel about this. Even though it felt like there was a thick cloud overhead today, it was actually a beautiful day. We had lots of sunshine. Temperatures were in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Some pretty nice weather for the middle of October, and even nicer weather is on the way. Tonight we have temperatures that are in the 40s to around 50 degrees, and we're not going to drop much from here. Lots of sunshine tomorrow morning, 45, 68 by the final bell, and pretty nice. Back to you.